What's going on, everyone? It's Monday, September 29th. You're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network presented by FanDuel. I'm your host. It's going to take you through for the next hour alongside my producer, Mike. And we got a great show for you today. Leading things off, Corbie Craig, as he normally does in the Monday spot. We're going to talk college football. We're going to do something a little different this week. I thought let's have some fun with it before we kind of look back on the week that was, recap some games. And you know what? Everyone does that. Everyone does that on the Monday morning. Everyone loves to play the Monday morning quarterback, talked about the week that was. But I thought it'd be fun, now that we're almost a third of the way through the college football season, I thought it'd be fun for us to predict our 12 teams that will make the college football playoffs. I just saw Corbie's list. I created my list as well. There are a couple bold calls from Corbie's list, and I think there's some couple bold calls on mine as well. And I think it all makes sense. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I want to see how you guys in the chat react to it. It should be a great little segment. After that, we have DrunknGoon coming on. A lot of people requested us to do some more soccer. So we're going to be talking some Champions League. We're going to be running through how 2 weeks ago went for DrunknGoon. It was okay. We were 2-2. Not too bad. One rough one in the Inter game. But it is what it is. That's a part of betting. And then finally, Hitman coming on to join the show. He's going to break down some Monday Night Football, talk some player props, talk some just breakdown of both games. Because we have a Monday night doubleheader. I'm curious in the chat if you guys want to participate along. Would appreciate it. Because I want to hear your thoughts on the Monday Night Football doubleheader. Because 2 weeks ago we had the doubleheader and it was spread out, which I thought I would like more, right? But I came in 2 weeks ago Monday morning feeling tired and terrible. Didn't feel good. So I think I might like the overlapping games a little bit better. But you guys know the drill. We're at the start of the show. Smash the like button. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button as well. And guess what? If this is your first time watching the show and you're new to the channel and you don't want to click subscribe just yet, just stick around for the entire show. I'm sure we'll earn your subscription by the end of this show. I want to talk a little bit about our Sunday Night Football, what happened last night, because I feel like it was kind of an absolute weird, drunk game. Ends 40-40, only 2 possessions in overtime. I wonder if the right move right now in football is to, I know a lot of people say you want to elect a kick first in overtime because you want to know what the other team does, right? You'll have the choice on the score, on if they score a touchdown, if they go for a field goal, or if they don't score at all. You'll know if you're in 4-down territory way earlier. But there's like a path of outcomes where you could, I don't know. I'm not a math guy. So wheels up in the chat. Jets are just a different threat with Justin Fields. Yeah, well, we can talk about that. All right. I'm going to bring Corbie in just a second. Before we do, just want to remind everyone, Monday morning, when you're kind of filtering through what happened on an NFL Sunday, it's a lot that goes on. There's a lot you miss. That's why we have our Monday morning newsletter. It's for people just like you guys. If you're like me, that's what I do. Wake up, have my coffee, go to the newsletter. There's injury reports, Suma's breakdown of the week last week. Great stuff. I think the most valuable thing has to be the injury reports because, it just gets you ahead of the curve. So you can go check it out. Must read for anyone betting on the NFL over at thehammer.bet. All right, I'm super excited for this segment. I'm about to bring on Corbie. He's a part of Better Odds. He's a college football fan. He's Corbie. Corbie, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's muted. Boys, what's up?
All good. That happens. How was your college football week? Good betting, bad betting? Okay.
Yeah, it was good. I think I've talked about this pretty openly, but this has been a rough year overall. And then this last weekend, I think I went 7-0, 7-1, something like that. So always fun. Makes the graph look a little better if you zoom out. You know, it makes the zoomed in version look really fun. But inevitably, it's part of the game. So it was a good weekend. A lot of dramatics. It's college football in and of itself. Some quarterbacks getting hurt and still winning the game. Some big injuries. So overall, it was a fun weekend of college football. And Jason, this doesn't happen often, but I'll be at a game Saturday. So I don't go to many games, but I'll be at a game Saturday, so we can talk about that. It'll be a good one.
Which game are you going to?
Oh, there we go. The Alabama Vanderbilt game. So a fun one. Vandy's kind of on the precipice of being good. I think I saw they're 16th in the AP poll, which I don't pay as much attention to, but pretty good game overall.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a great game. I'm excited, looking forward to that. I'm going to try and look for you on the screen. So Corbie, before we jump into things right now, I want to kind of break down for the chat what this thought process was kind of like. I was like, you know what, sitting on the couch on Saturday, a lot of fun, great week, by the way. And I was like, what can we do that's fun? We always break down the games. I like that segment. I think it's great. But I think it'd be like, I just wanted to do something that was super enjoyable. And I think what we came up with is going to be really good. If the graphics are ready, I can pull them up for us in just a second. Do you guys mind pulling up the graphics here? We'll pull up your list first, Corbie, and I'll talk you through it. And then we'll bring up mine, and you can check out mine, and you can let me know what you think. So, yeah, we have you have Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss, Penn State, Texas Tech, Indiana, Texas A&M, Utah, Texas, Georgia Tech, and then Memphis, which I have a couple things to say about that. We'll get into it. We'll go down conference by conference. If you want, if you can bring up my my graphic here as well, and we can, Corbie, you can live react to this. I had Ohio State, Ole Miss, Miami, Arizona State, Oregon, Indiana, Alabama, Texas, Texas A&M, Florida State, Texas Tech, and USF. Group of 5, I mean, we can kind of get that out of the way. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Memphis or USF. I was just like kind of throwing whatever at the wall. Any reason why you had Memphis over USF to begin with here?
Yeah, maybe it's some short-term bias, but I bet on Memphis this weekend and the 55-26 win versus FAU, which FAU is not great, and they did score 31 points in the fourth quarter. So probably a lot of recency bias there. But I will say Memphis is going to play USF.
Okay.
And here's the big reason I put Memphis in is they play USF and they're at home. I make Memphis a 6-point favorite. So Memphis wins that game. Like, where are we sitting in the conversation there?
Yeah, fair enough. All right, that makes a lot of sense. I kind of just threw USF, and I feel like the group of 5 is just going to shake out, and we'll kind of see.
USF is a name that I've seen a lot, so it's definitely not a bad throw. And if they win that game, like, it's them.
It's that.
I mean, they'll have wins versus Boise, Florida, and Memphis would be one hell of a schedule. All
right, let's get into the nitty gritty though, and actually talk about the real teams that we came here to talk about. Let's start with the Big Ten, where you have 4 teams in. I only have 3. You had Ohio State and Oregon. I feel like those are like pretty much. I don't want to call them locks to make the playoffs right now, but they feel like they're 2 of the best teams in the country. Oregon State, obviously, big win this weekend over Penn State. My question for you is the Penn State edition. I left them off. You had them in. Maybe talk me through a little bit why you had Penn State in.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a little bit too much bias towards what happened this weekend. They looked really bad, but like, who do they play the rest of the year? I mean, they're going to get Ohio State. Yes, that's going to be tough.
Yep.
The Indiana at home, and Nebraska at home. Like, I mean, I guess Iowa on the road could look like semi-tough, but I have that in 8-point spread, so I'm not too worried about that. It's more so just like, who are they going to play the rest of the year? If that is their loss, like, are we going to leave out a Penn State team who we know their coach wants to cover spreads? We've seen it against bad teams all the time. He's not afraid to run up the score. So it just feels like this is one of those spots at the end of the year. There's not that many good teams. Like, you'll also notice I leave teams like Georgia off, or like Oklahoma I've seen has been a prominent name, and it's like those teams are going to have to play way harder schedules. So are we going to put a 2-3 loss Georgia team in, or are we going to put a 1-loss Penn State who lost in overtime to Oregon? Like, I struggle to get there. So yes, their wins haven't been good, their losses have been bad, but inevitably I think the schedule is going to shake out to be a little easy. And if they somehow win that game in Ohio State, then you're having a completely different conversation.
Yeah, they're locked in if they win against Ohio State. I have them losing against Ohio State. And then I wanted to be a little bit bold, so I'm like, okay, like what would happen if they were to lose to Indiana as well? And that's kind of where I ended up on things. Do you think if they're not able to beat Indiana, Indiana beats them, Penn State's a 9-3 team, do you think they'll be able to make it if that's the case or no?
No. They're out there. I have them a favorite versus Indiana because it's at home. So really, it's just a play on, like, they have a slim margin chance against Ohio State, and I have them as the favorite versus Indiana. And then you go look at, like, who would you put in instead? And like, Texas has a pretty tough strength of schedule. I believe they end off the year with A&M. They've got Oklahoma. They've got all, I believe, Georgia still. So I'm not looking at their schedule, but I believe like teams like Texas just have a slightly harder road. So this isn't a play on, I think, Penn State's good at all. It's more so I think every team is kind of in that middling pack of 2 to 3 losses.
Okay, yeah, I feel like we might see that as well. Just when, like I said, when I was going through and kind of projecting out who I feel like games they could win, games that teams could lose, kind of ended up in that case as well. I believe, did you have Indiana in as well? You had Indiana in as well, right? So you're going to have them in as like a 10-2 team. You think they're going to make it. Like, they look pretty good, which is why I kind of picked them over Penn State, but you have them locked in here.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think they have the Heisman favorite anymore, but for some time they did. Let's see. He's not the Heisman favorite anymore, but it's a team who, I've got them in. But again, just a pretty easy schedule. We've seen the excitement, which is Indiana football. I think it would be tough to leave them out. So I have them in 10-2. Again, we talked about this a million times. I think most teams that get in are going to have 2 losses. So do you put Indiana in over insert any 2-loss team? And I texted you this last night. I could see where Indiana's not. And you put in like a Texas or a Georgia or an Alabama. But I thought it'd be a little more fun, you know. Toss out the old guys. We made 12-team playoffs not to have the old boys in here. We have the 12-team playoff to serve some young guns, serve the next Arizona State, and I think Indiana's a good spot to do. Yeah,
I'm excited. Looking forward to it. Indiana right now plus 134 to make the college football playoffs on the yes, and then Penn State minus 170. Let's flip over to talk SEC, where you only had 3 teams. I had 4 teams. We're consensus on Ole Miss, and it seems like you think that Ole Miss might be the best team in the SEC. Where we differ, though, is I had Alabama in, and you had – we both had Texas A&M. I had Alabama, and you left Alabama out. Is there any reason why you left Alabama out, even though they had – maybe this is recency bias because of the big win over Georgia, but, yeah, any reason why you had Alabama out?
Yeah, recency bias of Georgia helps, but we've seen Alabama struggle in a lot of similar spots over the years. Vandy has always given them headaches. Go back last season. And then Bama has, I'm looking at his schedule here, pulled it up. They've got Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, and then Auburn at Auburn. That's just a spot where, like, again, I agree with you. If they win the games that they're supposed to win, Alabama's in. And this was me kind of like taking a hot take. Also, I don't think Ole Miss is the best team in the SEC. Like, I think that there are issues within Ole Miss, but from what we've seen now, what they've proven at this current moment, like, we got to give Ole Miss the props that they deserve. So, can Alabama lose 2 games and get in? Yes. But with a loss to Florida State at the start of the year, like, you have to beat Tennessee, Missouri at Missouri, South Carolina at South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn at Auburn. Like, that's just, it's going to be tough. And if they have a second loss, that Florida State loss could inevitably start to look a lot worse. And in that list I just named, there's a lot of potential for a third loss. You know, so I'm not sure it's Bama's case. If I was to put another SEC team, I believe, is this mine? I believe I would go Georgia. Georgia would be in a pretty good spot. They don't have too tough a strength schedule.
All right, Georgia minus 162 to make the playoffs. Indiana. Or wait, we're talking about Alabama here. Minus 210 to make the playoffs. I'm all over the place. Sorry about that. Seems a little high though, minus 210 when you just lay it out like that. But I think I have them in there. You completely stole the question that was on my mind. Is if you had another team to make it over Alabama and you had to pick one more SEC team, Georgia it is. Do you like Oklahoma's chance to all Tennessee, LSU, those guys, or is it just too long for them?
Too long. Maybe LSU. The issue with Georgia is like inevitably that Alabama's going to have the head-to-head, and I think that's kind of what like this price is signifying. But no, I mean LSU looks good at the start of the year. Of course, they're still a good football team, but inevitably too far, too long. And Tennessee, like we've seen a lot of issues in Tennessee. So no, it would be Bama or Georgia. Georgia loses the head-to-head there, but I think inevitably Bama has chances to lose like 3 or 4 games. So I left them off. Again, I don't look at like this isn't something I usually like model out. So this is kind of like a fun exercise, and I want to take some long shots. So I'm leaving the Tide out.
All right, I like it. Well, that's where we differ, and that's the best part about doing these exercises. It also just completely reshapes the way you think about and look forward to the next couple of weeks of football. Let's talk ACC. We differed in this one as well. Miami, obviously, we're together on Miami, but then you had Georgia Tech making it, and I had Florida State making it. I think Florida State has a good case just with their win over Alabama early in the season, and they also have a relatively easier schedule down the stretch. Tell me a little bit why you like Georgia Tech to make it.
Yeah, you were not thinking incorrectly. I think it's going to be a struggle for Florida State after you lose to Virginia. But both of these teams are stretched. 490 to make the playoffs, Florida State, and 3-1 made the playoffs, Georgia Tech. But I mean, I just really like what I've seen from this Georgia Tech team. Like they have the fun quarterback. They have all the pieces that the committee like tries to get into, and then like go look at their schedule. I mean, they're gonna play let's see where we're at. They're going to play Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State. Those are all wins.
Yeah.
Pitt will be an okay close game, and then end the year off with Georgia, who inevitably has chinks in their armor. I make that an 8-point spread, and so if they went out and their only loss is Georgia, we have a conversation. If they went out and they beat Georgia, there's no conversation. They are in it. So it's 3-1. It's a long shot, but I think it's a decent buy low spot because they just played an overtime game versus Wake Forest. Everyone thinks this team stinks, and I get it. But inevitably, I think their talent is better than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So easy schedule. The firepower, the fireworks at the end of the schedule, a chance to hit a home run.
Yeah, I love it. Haynes King absolutely locked in for that second half and end up going overtime. Fun game, fun win for the team. Had Wake Forest plus whatever it was on the spread, plus 15.5 or something like that. When it goes to overtime, what? Anyways, fun weekend of betting for me. Let's move on and finish it off with the Big 12. You had Texas Tech and Utah making it. I had Texas Tech and Arizona State making it. I think where I differ from you is I see that Texas Tech Arizona State game and I say, what would happen if Arizona State were to win this game? And it makes things really, really fun and interesting. So that's kind of where I went with for my 12. Tell me why you like Utah over Arizona State.
Yeah, this is my biggest long shot of the entire board. So glad we circled it towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Utah is 8-1 to make the playoffs. So if I try to convince you a reason that makes a lot of sense, it's going to be tough. But I look at this team, I see a close loss versus Tech, though Tech did look pretty dominant in that game.
Mm-hmm.
A Big 12 that I just don't think is that overall talented, and I've kind of been low on this Arizona State team all year. These two teams, Arizona State and Utah, are going to match up at Utah, off a bye week for Utah, and I have that a 9-point spread. So I think Utah's a better team. They're going to have head-to-heads versus basically everybody except Tech, who I already have getting in. So this is just a scheduling thing. They're going to play Baylor on the road, which is a worry. They're going to play Kansas on the road, which is a worry. But those wins could look a lot better by season's end. We've seen this Kansas team kind of clean up year over year better than anybody else. And then Kansas quarterback gets hurt every single year. So are we sure by week 14 he's not going to be down to QB2? So I think there's a lot of wins on Utah's schedule, a head-to-head versus Arizona State. And at 8-1, I was happy putting them in.
I love that. Yeah, 8-1, especially when it you look at both Arizona State and Utah's schedule. It might neither team could make it. That's definitely a real possibility. But if one of those teams were to make it, it's going to most likely come down to that one game. Quickly, if I know you had 4 Big Ten teams and 3 SEC teams, what do you think the likelihood of that? Maybe not these teams in particular, but what do you think the likelihood there are more Big Ten teams than SEC teams this year for the playoffs?
I would say high. Okay. The issue the SEC is going to run into is a lot of these teams play each other. Mm-hmm. Of course, the Big Ten does too, but it feels like there's more bailout, more excuse in the Big Ten. Maybe if Oregon travels the entire country to play Penn State on a whiteout off a bye week, you don't knock them that hard. That's a tough scheduling spot. When the SEC, this is the same teams who face each other year after year. Bama goes to Auburn and loses at Auburn. That's a bad look. And so I think there's more false narratives that can be written for losses in the Big Ten, and that's why I give them the praise. If you look at my power ratings, I have the SEC floods the top 15. It's not that I just think the Big Ten is better. It's more that I think there's more bias that can be prone to maybe giving the committee a little bit of leniency towards some losses there. The example, me having Penn State in, is that loss as bad as people might make it out to be? So I have more Big Ten teams. Do I think they're better? No. I'm from the South, man. Of course, I want the SEC. If it was 12 SEC teams, I'd be a happy guy.
All right, let's listen. You have your 12 teams. You made your predictions. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You have Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss, Penn State, Texas Tech, Indiana, Texas A&M, Utah, Texas, Georgia Tech, and Memphis. It's obviously going to be almost impossible to predict what the bracket were to look like, but I'm going to put you on the spot and give me your who's going to be in the finals, who's going to be in the championship game. This is completely on the spot. It's obviously tough to even predict this. But if you had to just make a wild guess, either who do you think it's going to be or who do you want it to be to maximize the amount of fun we have?
Yeah, I'll do the fun route. I'm going to give you my favorite to win because I've talked about it for a few weeks on the show. Ohio State. Yes. I think Ohio State's the best team in the country by a factor of a lot. And then let's make it a little more fun. in the championship, they face Texas Tech, who
Wow.
has all the firepower in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They are a scary, scrap-nosed team who a lot of teams don't have enough film on. Like, this is a team who pieced together their entire team with money from the NIL this season. So the film won't be there. I could see this just being like, Arizona State were punching people in the face because they didn't know what to expect from Cam Scadaboo. And Tech has those kind of pieces. So 45-1 to win the national championship. I put Texas Tech in there with Ohio State.
I love it. Very bold. Very bold. If I had to pick, I'm just going to go. I think Ohio State is the best team in the country as well. I think when people don't say that, they're trying to get too cute. It's basically the same team as last year. Plus, they had like a great recruiting class. It's like, let's come on. What are we doing here? I don't know. Let's go Ohio State, and let's see if Miami can go on a run, because I know you live in Florida, so I wanted to give you that shout out right there. Corbie, any last thoughts from this exercise? Any takeaways that we didn't cover that you want to touch on? Maybe like, what was your biggest takeaway from this exercise that you like doing?
Yeah, it's just a reflection of something of this magnitude. Kind of just lets you step back and you see teams as like player-based models, whatever. Each game, when you're betting, you're not worried about the zoom out. You're worried about the zoom in on the exact matchups. And this zoom out kind of just like quantified to me, like, there's just not that many good teams this year. Like, I watched the Bama Georgia game, and there were so many mistakes. I just was not impressed in that game. Like, if you watch that third down play that sealed Bama the win, Ty Simpson had 4 receivers open. He chose the check down because they only needed 2 yards, but he had a 20-yard post wide open. So I just don't think there's very many good teams this year. Don't get cute with it. Take the favorites. If Ohio State national champ 5-1 is still a good price. They are the best team. Oregon looks decent, but like, what is Dante Moore? Like, I'm just not buying it. I just don't. Again, final takeaway is nobody's good.
Nobody's good. No, I agree with that. And you know what? That's what's part of the fun of this. But making it so that no one's good makes it more open for like a 12. This is why I kind of like the 12-team playoff. It's more open. We're going to see like different teams get in like we haven't seen before. Like you said, let the new guys come in. Let the new guys come in and show their stuff. Corbie, I appreciate you jumping on. You can follow Corbie on Twitter at CorbieBO. And yeah, Corbie, we'll talk next week.
All right, boys. It was fun.
All right. Appreciate you. See ya. That was Corbie. Go follow him on Twitter at CorbieBO. Great stuff. Always looks super red, though. I'm worried I got to maybe send him a bottle of sunscreen or something like that, because the Florida sun might be a little too hot. Before we get into our next guest, DrunknGoon's going to come on and talk soccer. Any Champions League questions, fire them off in the chat. Any general soccer questions, you guys are more than welcome to do that as well. Before we do that, I just want to give a quick shout-out to our great sponsors over at FanDuel. FanDuel is changing the way you live bet football, and it starts with the Next Drive SGPs. Now you can bet what's happening on the drive. It will end touchdown, a punt, a field goal, then stacking player props like rushing yards to catch a pass or someone to find the end zone. Build your bet exactly how you want it. FanDuel's enhanced quick betting experience makes it easy to find live bets fast, build same game parlays in real time, and see the player stats you need. And every NFL game day comes with a profit boost, so you can use it on your Next Drive SGP. You can get more out of every single play. Whether you're betting a drive, a player, or the next big moment, FanDuel makes live betting feel smarter, faster, and way more fun. Visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to download the app today and bet the next drive your way. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-77 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Paid endorsement, call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. Just had Corbie on. Talk some college football. Now it's time to flip over and talk some Champions League. We're going to talk about the great game. DrunknGoon coming on to join the show. He's a soccer bettor. Goon, how's it going?
Sound check.
You're good. You're good to go, Adrian.
Okay.
All right. Let's dive into things here, Adrian. You were with us 2 weeks ago. You did pretty well. You went 2-2. Tough loss on the Inter over. It happens, and then the other loss was the Benfica game. What did you make of this of the 2 weeks ago, the round of Champions League that we watched play? What are some of your biggest takeaways from the matches of that week?
So yeah, I gotta talk about that Benfica loss. It started out 2-0, and they were doing whatever they wanted for 20 minutes, and then they stopped playing. Credit to the newcomers Karabakh. They not only just responded, but they took the game to Benfica and ended up winning 3-2, which is one of the biggest shocks that we've seen in the Champions League in a while.
Yeah.
So I'll take my loss on that and learn from it.
Happens, tough loss. Part of the game we play though, right? Like it's not, we're not always going to have those winning weeks, but it is what it is. Any other big takeaways outside of the bets that you placed from
Bayern Chelsea was a good game, and Bayern ended up winning. We'll see where Chelsea ends up. I don't know. They gotta figure out who they play. They have some injuries now, but the big boys came to play. Liverpool had to suffer a little bit. They went up 2-0, and then Atletico came back, tied it 2-2, and they had to win it in the dying minutes with a nice header from the captain. So Champions League is off and running. There's some fun games coming, and let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive into things. Before we get into your bets, though, I want to just quickly ask any games that you're looking forward to, like the must-watch matches over the next 2 days. Which games are you like circling and being like, I need to be in front of the TV for this one?
Sure. So we talked about the tiers. I got 5 games in the tier 1 this week. Chelsea, Benfica, Galata, Liverpool, Union Saint-Gilloise, Newcastle, Barcelona, PSG, and Villarreal, Juventus. So should we go for those, or should we just go for the picks? Your choice.
We can kind of break down those games if you want quickly. Like what would be your favorite of the two, and what do you of those 4 that you gave out, and what would you be looking for the most?
PSG, Barcelona, PSG is the final Champions League final. We didn't get last year because Inter got in the way. So that would be the most exciting game of the weekend. It's both of them hit the ground running in the Champions League. Barcelona won away to Newcastle 2-1. That was a good result for them on the road. PSG completely demolished Atalanta 4-0. So injuries are a big concern right now. Rafinha, Gavi, and their keeper Ter Stegen are out. We know that Yamal is likely to play here. He's been out for a while with a groin injury, or so they say. And on the other side, PSG is without Marquinhos, their captain, as well as Dembele and Doué. So a lot of their firepower up front is gone, but they still have options with Barcola. Kvaratskhelia is also injured. He's likely to play. So a lot of injuries on both sides. I think if Barca finds a way to get beyond the PSG press, they should have success. And the fact that Dembele is not there is going to help them. He's been he got the Ballon d'Or for all the goals he scored, but also for the defensive work that he's done. So if Barca can get past that press, they should win this game. I have a bet on it, and it's Barca minus a half, minus 106. It's good to minus 115.
All right, minus a half, minus 106. You can find that on FanDuel. It's just a little hard for me to find this stuff in real time, but if you just want to look at the 3-way money line, Barcelona minus 120, plus 300 for the tie, plus 260 for Paris Saint-Germain. Let's talk a little bit about Club Brugge. You have a bet in this match. You're looking forward to this match. You had them as a winner. With the match day 1. It's a total you like in this game, though. So tell us what it is about this total that you like so much.
So there's a few things. Both Bruges and Atlanta are very offensive teams. Bruges basically destroyed Monaco 4-1 last in the opener. The one thing that's important here is their keeper got injured in that game. The backup came in and kind of held things down for the rest of the game. But since then, they ended up with a 5-5 draw in the league last midweek, and also they gave up some chances and a goal to Standard Liège at the weekend. So I think there's some issues with them at the back with an inexperienced goalkeeper. Also, they're missing their defensive mid Onyendika, which is a key player for them. On the other side, Atlanta, they have a new coach this year, Juric. He took over from Gasperini, who's been coaching them for a long time. He's kind of kept the same attacking focus. Their results have been kind of mixed, but there's injuries there as well. He and on defense, their playmaker, the Ketelare, used to play for Bruges, so that would be a big game for him. But he's probably not going to play in this one. That's a big blow. I think the two teams will open it up and go for it. So goals over 3 should be good.
Over 3. Do you have a price on that? Because I have right now on FanDuel, I have the over under 2.5 goals minus 168. Is that where you'd be looking, or you'd be looking maybe a little
over
higher?
3 plus 106 is the price I got. It's good to
Okay.
minus 110. I mentioned last week that you can build an over 3 by playing over 2.5 and over 3.5.
Okay.
And then just kind of figure out the math on that. We can maybe put a video together for the math part.
Yeah. That would just basically be splitting up two bets between the over 2.5 and the over 3.5, which would essentially get you with the over 3. Yeah. So let's look into what do we have next here. We're heading over to Germany because there's a side you like in the match between Leverkusen and PSV. Who you like in this game and why?
Right. So Leverkusen started out pretty slow in Denmark against Copenhagen. They went behind twice, 1-0, 2-1, but they managed to come back and steal a point. It wasn't their best effort, but considering the situation, I see they're on the right track. They're basically on their third coach in 4 months, with Xabi Alonso moving to Real Madrid, and then the Den Haag experiment that only lasted a couple of league games. So they finally found some stability. They have a very, very young squad because they sold a lot of their stars that won the Bundesliga going undefeated 2 years ago. So it's basically a new side that's finding their legs. Against PSV, I think they should be able to control possession and create chances. One interesting thing is their former backup goalie is now starting for PSV. PSV got smoked 3-1 at home by one of the Belgian sides, first time out. So it's a bit of a statement game for both sides. But I think Leverkusen is primed to take care of it. They have a lot of talent. It's just a matter of them coming together. They will be a lot better in 3 months than they are now. But even now, I think they're pretty good side, and they found their rhythm in Bundesliga.
All right, Leverkusen is the side you like here. Is there just the money line 3-way, the minus 120 is what you're looking at right now, or?
You got to shop around. It's good to 120. I got minus 107, but not everybody's going to get the same prices. You just have to put in the work to find the best price in the market.
Absolutely. Minus 120 is available over on FanDuel as well. If you're looking for that Leverkusen, you can get a little bit of a sweat on this Wednesday, 3 o'clock. College football Champions League slate. Finally, you've got a bet in one of your Tier 1 fixtures. Probably the most circled game of the week. Which I guess this is the June.
Yeah, we already covered it.
We already covered this bet. My bad. Sorry. All right, let's talk a little bit about the World Cup, because majority of our audience is from North America. I know you're from Canada as well. What's the ticket process like for getting these tickets? Do you have like any edges in hand or anything that you want to discuss in terms of that?
The process is underway. The first phase is actually closed right now. They had a visa pre-sale. If you manage to get an application in for that, you start sweating today and the next few weeks to get notification to go in the in those pools to purchase tickets. You can buy up to 4 tickets per game, up to 40 tickets for the tournament. Hopefully get lucky and get a notification. If you miss out on this first phase, there's a second phase in October. So all of these purchases happen. You have no idea who's playing, but if you can get your hands on tickets, you can maybe trade them down the road to catch your favorite teams. And then there's a third phase, which happens after the draw. The draw is in December. And that goes when you actually know who's playing in what matchups and what location, and you can follow your team. You can buy like a city package or just one game at a time. So it's a long drawn out process, and there will be a lot of demand for the games in Canada and Mexico. Some of the games in the US, depending on political situation, might be available for those interested in going now.
Yeah, for sure. Could be got to get your hands on those tickets regardless, because it's. For the majority of our audience, we're from North America, except for like Drew. Drew is from North America. A lot of people are from North America. Yeah, you got to try and get your hands on those tickets because it's like a once in a lifetime experience. Quickly, before I see you out here, got a question for you. I'm putting you on the spot. Give me your favorite dark horse team that you're going to like that you have circled for the World Cup. Like what? I know majority of the teams haven't even like officially qualified for yet. But is there a certain team that you're looking at as a dark horse, being like, I cannot wait to watch them play at the international level?
So funny you should ask. I just bought some 300-1 Canada to win the World Cup. I don't expect them to win it, but it's fun sweat. Aside from that, maybe Norway. They missed the World Cup for a long time now. I think 98 was the last time they qualified, but they're doing well in qualifying, and they have the kind of team that could surprise some people. You can probably have them at like 60, 70-1.
Yeah, right now on FanDuel, they are 65 to 1. So if you want to get, listen, it's super early. Maybe you don't want to bet it now, but maybe a couple months to keep your eyes peeled on Norway. 65 to 1 could be something fun. Adrian, I appreciate you joining us today. We'll chat soon.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you. You can follow Adrian on Twitter at DrunknGoon. Just as simple as that, DrunknGoon on Twitter. Goon spelled Goon. Yeah. So it's going to be good stuff. We have Hitman coming on our show for our Monday Night Football for Monday Night Football preview. Before we get into our Monday Night Football preview, though, I just want to remind you that we have a Monday Night Football watch along tonight. And we're going super long. We're going we're going to be doing a longer one tonight because guess what? Like I said, there's 2 overlapping games. We are going to start at 7 o'clock. We will be going live at 7 o'clock. Myself and Rob will be hosting for tonight. And if you've never been a part of them, I think they're a great time. You're probably going to enjoy them. Hitman's on with us. A lot of people in this chat are always in the chat over there. Even DrunknGoon stops by in the chat. George is in the chat. Moreto's in the chat. Everybody is in the chat having a good time. We've had some pretty decent luck over the first 3 weeks on this Monday Night Football stream, hitting some long shot touchdowns, but no guarantee that we'll be able to do it again. Reminder, we'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress HQ YouTube channel. You can find us there. And yeah, 7 o'clock. We're going super long because we're going to be watching both games at the same time. It will be fun to juggle, and it will be fun to do that. All right. Coming up next, we have our good friend of the show. He is one of the best prop bettors in the world, and he does a Saturday prop show with us this weekend. I don't even remember how we did, Hitman, because I forgot what picks we gave out. Anyways, Hitman, how's it going?
What's up? We went 1-1.
Okay.
Lost
a little bit of equity on Minnesota.
Yes, as GRP would say, we lost some equity. Personally, I didn't have it was my worst prop week of the year. So, got up real early.
Yeah,
went into the lab, as they all say, and started cooking up some Monday night plays and all that.
All right, so, let's talk. We'll get into it. If there's anything you don't want to talk about, just message me about it now, and then we will not cover it.
I'm good with everything.
You're good with everything. All right, I want to quickly talk to you about this. One of the props you gave out on your service a little bit a couple hours ago. This Mason Taylor guy in the first game, the Jets Dolphins. Usually I ask you to break down the game first, but I just listen. This has been on my mind since you've given it out. What do you like here in this look for Mason Taylor? You had him at over 20.5. Right now he's at 24.5 minus 112 on FanDuel. You move the market on it, but just talk me through it.
I wouldn't play 24.5, but with that, the Dolphins. It's a very short sample size, but opposing teams are targeting the tight end against the Dolphins, the second most in the NFL, and they've been really bad against opposing tight ends so far this year. And just a lot of coach speak on getting Taylor more involved. I mean, not all coach speak is the same. Like, I would never just blindly play coach speak everything, but it's when you have just such a low number, it just does not take much to get a guy there if they're talking about trying to get him more involved in the offense, and it's 19.5, 20.5 receiving yards in what is one of the best matchups, like not only specifically against tight ends, but just the Dolphins pass defense in general. Like, they're out so many corners right now. And like, you could theoretically say, well, what does that have to do that the corners are out when it's a tight end? Well, when your corners are out, typically you're playing a lot more soft zone coverage, and you just spots where the tight end could tend to be a little bit more efficient. So, Mason Taylor over, but I wouldn't play it at current numbers.
All right, I'm going to ask you to break down this game in just a sec, but I'm looking at Mason Taylor. I'm thinking, okay, listen, I can't play his over receiving yards. You feel like 24.5, the number's kind of gone on it now, but I look at his touchdowns, and I see plus 480. I look at his first touchdown, 22 to 1. I see his first team touchdown. I believe it is, 10-ish to 1. Do you like any of those plays over here? Like Mason Taylor, 10 to 1, first team touchdown. Do you like any of those? Is that maybe a way you can kind of throw a dart at Mason Taylor without at a little bit higher odds and having some fun with it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I'll tell you, can I give you another Jets player that
Yeah,
I think
fire away.
What do we got on Arian Smith to score anytime touchdown?
10 to 1, plus 1060 on FanDuel.
I think, and what is Josh Reynolds? Josh Reynolds is like plus 450.
Reynolds is closer to 480. Yeah.
That should not be as wide of a gap as it is.
Okay.
I think that Arians, it just shouldn't be. I mean,
Okay.
the Josh Reynolds price is BS, in my opinion. Like, I don't like that price. Watch him now catch a touchdown after saying I would lay minus 480 on the now. But I think Smith is the guy that I think would have a little bit of value potentially.
All right. Well, I love that. Look, Aaron Smith plus 1060, one of the better prices in market. There's a 12-1 out there. But yeah, looks like the market's between like 12-1 and like some 9-ish to ones. 1060, great price on FanDuel. Let's take a step back. I kind of was just like really looking forward to this Mason Taylor question. So let's take a step back though and break down this game for us. Jets Dolphins. Both games kind of had terrible quarterback play. But what do you see happening? Kind of give me like a breakdown of this game.
I lean towards the Dolphins.
Okay.
With the spread. Haven't bet it, but that's why I've taken them in some contests and all that. I think there's potential that the Jets are really freaking bad. And like, obviously Miami's bad too and everything, but I'm talking with the Jets defensive injuries that they got going on right now and Fields' first game back from the concussion. There's some talk about quarterback's first game back, tend not to play as well. It's a short sample size. I don't know how much I buy it, but maybe just a tiny factor. I think that the Jets defense is underratedly really bad. And it's a defense that theoretically shouldn't be able to put as much pressure on Tua as some other teams can. And when Miami can run the ball, they're a really effective offense. And it's just, this sets up as a game where there's just a lot of matchup advantages for Miami, in my opinion, against this depleted Jets defense. So that's kind of where my head's at with the game. But again, didn't bet it. Just took it, laid some minus 2.5 in some contests.
All right, love it. Hashtag wrong team favorite in my opinion, but also my opinion doesn't really mean that much. Let's dive in.
Wrong team favored.
Yes.
You think?
I think the Miami Dolphins are an atrocity to football, and we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about it tonight.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit about the rushing game though, because I always like to play these inverse correlation things with these running backs, where it's like Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. Do you think Braylon Allen could be getting a little bit more look in this game versus Breece Hall, or what are your opinions on that? Breece Hall right now 56.5, minus 112. Braylon Allen 21.5. minus 112.
Yeah, Allen's been taking some over money. Coming into the year, I'm really surprised at how I thought this backfield was going to be a lot tighter than what it is right now. And I kind of think at some point the Jets do try to get Allen back involved. I mean, there was talk that Allen was going to be like a 1B to a Breece Hall 1A coming into the season. It hasn't materialized. But at the same time, like Braylon Allen, I think he had, what was it? Last week, he had 5 of his 8 touches were when the Jets were down 23-6 in the third quarter. Like, I want to say at some point it tightens up, but there's nothing telling me right now that this is going to be the week. So I haven't done anything with Jets backfield as much as I think. I mean, there's even a possibility that Breece Hall gets traded at some point, but yeah, as of I didn't do anything with Jets backfield this game.
Yeah, fair. And also, if you think he gets traded, maybe that's a more reason why that's like more. It's further apart than most people think it was going to be at the start of the season. Maybe they're trying to give Breece Hall and give the league a look of like, hey, Breece Hall's valuable. Go trade for him, please. Let's talk a little. We touched already on the receiving game. Passing props, 2 is at 236.5, minus 112 both sides. Do you feel like that's too high at all, or do you feel like that's just about right? Because you kind of said Miami can get going through the running game, right? Like that's where you're looking right now. Do you think that's 236?
I just think that Miami's going to be able to get what they want on this Jets defense. So, I mean, they're just a more effective offense when they have the run game, when they are running the ball. But I could see a lower volume, but really efficient to a game.
Okay.
So, but I don't got much of an opinion.
All right. Any other props you want to touch on in this game, or you want to flip over and talk the second Monday Night Football game, this doubleheader?
No, I think we're just good with the Arian Smith anytime touchdown.
All right, Arian Smith anytime touchdown. Then I'm going to put the Braylon Allen under and the Breece Hall over in my back pocket, and we're going to save that one for a little bit later on in the show. Up next, Bengals at Broncos. Would have been a fun Monday Night Football game if Joe Burrow obviously didn't get hurt. And yeah, like this, again, like I said off the start of the segment, four teams, four terrible quarterbacks. They all stink. Bo Nix might be the best, though, of the bunch. We'll see. Any strong opinions on this game? Broncos laying 7.5 right now, -112 at home. Total is a little lower, 44.5. Juice towards the under, -115. Give me a breakdown of this game here.
Not much of an opinion, I hate to be boring with it, but I do think that Bo Nix is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And despite having like a clean pocket, he has not fared well this year. And I mean, he's probably going to get a clean pocket again. He's probably going to get a team that's going to be efficient running the ball against. I think that the Bengals freaking suck. And obviously the market is saying that the Bengals freaking suck, but Joe Burrow he hid so many deficiencies on this team. I mean, their offensive line is one of the worst in the league. Their defense is one of the worst in the league. Their organization is one of the worst in the league, and their coaching staff is probably one of the worst in the league. He was just hiding so many deficiencies with this team. I don't know. I think the line's right.
Yeah, I think the line. It's just so hard for me to see the Broncos covering a 7-point spread, but the Bengals have like nothing. They have literally nothing. I just this game. I have no idea.
I could be mistaken. I very well could be mistaken.
Yeah,
and just talking out of my ass, which I tend to do. Some might say.
So do I. Don't worry, you're good.
But I thought Denver was a bully last year. It was the playoff teams that they really struggled against, but against poor teams, I felt like they did well. I could be completely wrong and just misremembering it, though. So if I am, somebody let me know. But I thought that's how they were last year.
I know, but like then we saw them against the Titans in week 1, and like they really,
they dominated that game statistically. They dominated that game statistically.
The only thing is,
I'm not buying that one.
They struggled to put up like points. I want to see them put up more points. If you're asking me to like trust them to cover by more than a touchdown here, like you're asking a lot. Anyways,
well, I said the same thing about the Texans yesterday about asking them to cover more than 7.5. I got my ass handed to me. So
all right, it's all good. It's all good. We bounce back today. Anything you like in particular? You talked about Bo Nix in the past game. You're saying he's a little bit overrated. I agree with you. I think he's pretty overrated as well. His pass total right now is at 221.5, -112 to both sides. Do you have an opinion on either side of that? It seems like they'll probably be in like a running script based on the spread of this game. What are your thoughts on it?
The Denver running backs, I just think that this is going to be a little tighter than the market is indicating.
Okay.
Now, like, obviously, like, I don't think it's a 1A, 1B situation. Like, I think J.K. Dobbins is clearly the one right now, and R.J. Harvey is the two. But last week, Tyler Bidet, I believe is how we pronounce it, he was basically phased out of this backfield, which makes it a two-man backfield. I just think that ideally Denver does not want to be in a situation where, what was it last week? I think Dobbins out-carried him something like 16-2 or something like that. I just don't think, or he out-carried RJ Harvey 16-2, I something like that. I just don't think that that's how Denver does want to play. So at the FanDuel, 28.5 on RJ Harvey, probably a pass. There's a 26, if you shop around, there's a 26.5 I see out there still right now. Actually, that just moved also. J.K. Dobbins under 65.5, 64.5. I don't feel as strongly about it as the Harvey stuff, because Cincinnati does have a terrible defense, so he can get there on efficiency, but directionally kind of lean towards some Dobbins unders.
All right. Yeah, Dobbins right now on FanDuel is at that 64.5, like you mentioned. RJ Harvey over 28.5. And like, listen, if you like this look, you can take a look at some RJ Harvey alts as well. Make sure you shop those around, but oftentimes they're better priced on FanDuel. You can get them at 40 plus yards at plus 188. Let's take a look at the receiving game. Obviously, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have struggled with, I don't want to say struggled with Jake Browning, but like Jake Browning doesn't accentuate them as well as you'd hope him to do. Do you like either of these guys? Like their totals feel like I see their names and I see their totals. And I'm like, this is low, but it is Jake Browning against a tough defense. 64.5 for Jamar Chase, T. Higgins at 51.5 respectively. Do you like anything in this receiving game for?
I haven't done. I've rarely ever bet this stuff, so
Okay.
I will self-admit that I have I'm not the expert at pricing what's fair value. Like for all I know, we could be getting ripped off on the price. So I don't want to recommend it, but I think that Cincinnati makes for a team that's like good to like play some maybe like over receptions, but under yards.
Okay.
On guys with Browning, the average depth of target has just been so low. So, I mean, maybe you do that with Jake Browning, like over completions, under yards. Jamar Chase is a guy that you could potentially look to do that with. Somebody on the Bengals, like that. I would think that that's maybe a way that you could approach the Cincinnati passing game if you think that the odds make sense. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know how it should be fairly priced, but I think that that's a good way to approach it. And if you did like some like Bengals overs, like typically like the receptions is what I maybe look more towards, and the yards is where I'd maybe look more towards unders.
All right. We're going to get into touchdown props. I'm going to force you some touchdown props. So I'll let you think about that. But before we get into that, I want to flip back to the rushing game because I didn't ask you about Chase Brown. 10 attempts for 3 yards last week. Absolutely pitiful, atrocious against now going up against a very, very tough Denver front seven. Like you mentioned, this Bengals offensive line is horrible, horrible, horrible. He's lined at 56.5 right now. Number feels like probably too high. Do you have any strong opinion on Chase Brown here?
I don't know about that. It's just he's just such a workhorse right now.
Fair.
Like it's gonna be him getting the touches, and Samaje Perine is out this week, which means potentially more pass game work for Chase Brown. I don't have much of an opinion. Maybe I definitely think that if he does lose, like he's gonna have to come out sometimes,
Of course.
And I think if he is out, Taj Brooks kind of profiles as like an early down guy, and maybe Brown ends up. Perine was subbing. Perine was playing third down. Maybe Brown takes more of the third down, but a little less of the early down stuff. But I haven't bet anything with it.
All right, let's flip over and talk some anytime touchdown scorers. Anyone you like specifically in this list here? Anyone that instantly comes to mind for you? Like you looking at maybe Troy Franklin. You mentioned RJ Harvey might be getting more work than people expected. Bo Nix has been known to just eject and run the ball. And anything you like here in terms of touchdown scores?
Yeah, it would be Harvey, but it would be solely a force play.
Okay.
The Arian Smith one, I actually legitimately think I like that. But this one, the Harvey one would just kind of be if you want action.
Okay. What are your thoughts on maybe like let's just build this out together? I'll just build it up myself. Like on an alt spread for Denver paired with a last touchdown for Taj Brooks, where the game gets so out of hand. Denver just kind of lets up. Taj Brooks right now 40-1 to score an anytime touchdown. And like let's say it's just alternate spread of like 13.5, and then last touchdown score that'll get us to around. Give me a second here. Where's Taj Brooks? He's so far down the list.
Last touchdown?
Yeah, 120-1 is what we're looking at.
I was kind of more interested. I thought you were going to go along the route of Denver alt spread and RJ Harvey last touchdown. That's
okay.
kind of what I was thinking.
All right, I can price that out for you. Denver alt spread 13.5. Because I know, listen, Judah always comes on this Monday. He likes to give out these sort of like fat tail outcomes. So in honor of Judah, we're doing that. RJ, it's only 19-1. That feels a little too thin in my opinion, for RJ Harvey last touchdown paired with a 13.5 point spread. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's too thin?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've talked about the SGPs that I'm just talking about them. I'm personally probably not betting these. It's just if you want some action, but I think you could do worse if you want some action.
All right, one final SGP to talk through with you, the one that I made and put it in my back pocket. I talked about in the first game. Braylon Allen under 21.5, Breece Hall over 56.5, RJ Harvey over 20.5, J.K. Dobbins under 64.5. You pair those four together, you get 10-1. Give me a rating out of 5 on that SGP.
I mean, two of the legs I'm in favor of. The other two, I really don't have much of an opinion. I'll give it a 4, Jason.
Wow, that's out of 5 or 10? Let me just make
out of 10. Yeah, out of 10.
Oh, I thought I asked you out of 5 to be fair.
Oh, so, did you? I'm sorry.
So
I'll give you a 2 out of 5.
Good quick math there, Hitman. I appreciate you. You can check out Hitman on Twitter at Hitman428. He's going to be on our watch along tonight on Forward Progress for the fourth quarter. He already told me he would. Wait, Hitman, which fourth quarter are you coming on for? The first, second, or both?
I'll probably get there a little early for like mid-third of the second game.
Love it. We might be able to get both.
That's my guess.
Might be able to get both in. Maybe we get some extra plays then too. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Hey man, appreciate you joining the show. We'll talk later.
Thank you.
All right, see you, Hitman. Again, reminder, follow him on Twitter at Hitman428. And also, check out our watch along. Head over to the Forward Progress HQ YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell, the reminder bell, so you can be notified right when we go live. Because, listen, sometimes you might forget, there's a Monday night doubleheader. Forward Progress is going live early this week. How could I forget? You show up at 8. We've been live for an hour. You missed out on one game worth of the bets already. So, yeah, make sure you do that as well. Make sure you hit the notification bell here when you subscribe because, again, you always want to be notified when we go live. Wednesdays, we have our GRP videos that come out. So those come out sometimes at different times. You're going to want to know when those go out, and you're going to want to watch them right away. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Goes a long way here. Let's look ahead to what we have over the next couple hours here on the Hammer Betting Network. Circle back live right after this, getting redirected there. You're not going to want to miss this. And then after that, hit the books live, 5 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to want to be there. And then Monday Night Football starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, not 6:45. 7 p.m. Eastern today for the 7:15 game. Yeah, that wraps up the show today. Guys, one in the chat. You guys were great. Appreciate you watching along, tailing along, talking in the chat. Alex, George, I see you guys. Tomorrow, reminder, we'll be live noon Eastern, and we have some great guests coming on. We have Chris Dierkes coming on to talk some NFL futures. And if you haven't seen on Twitter, I am now the official custody owner of Flup's dog. So that's a little interesting story that you can hear about tomorrow. Then we have Barry Horse coming on to break down some MLB playoffs. Then finally, Rob will come on, as he always does on Tuesday, to break down the line movements so far in the NFL. Please, guys, do me a huge favor. Get those likes up. There's a ton of people watching right now. If half you like the stream, we would instantly double the amount of likes we have right now. So let's do that on the way out. And if you're new to the channel, again, one more time, subscribe and tell a friend. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers. We're only 100 away. The more people you tell, the higher chance we have of getting that. So I appreciate that. Thank you for all our guests for coming on today. Thank you in the chat for participating. We had a great show today. And you've just watched the Monday, September 29th edition of the Hammer Daily presented by FanDuel here on the Hammer Betting Network. We will see you guys tomorrow.